Hello! I'm just choosing a color because I've already used pink for this one and like a light pink for this one. I'm trying to think of what color would be good for here. I'm thinking this one. I'm gonna do this one here. Stitches by Meg says, I started stitching today. So behind, but I'll catch up. Yeah, that's okay. So like because we have the, what's it called? Because we have the videos saved on YouTube. Ooh, that's way too long. Okay, so today we're doing long and short stitch. So today we'll do long and short stitch like the traditional way. And then we'll do a border, maybe on Friday. And then tomorrow we'll do long and short stitch where you can blend the colors into each other a different way, almost like thread painting. So a lot of people are wondering what is long and short stitch and thread painting. I'm just pointing to these two because we're going to do them this kind of the same but different. What's the difference between them? So the number one thing that I've found is thread painting makes it look more like a painting where all of the threads are blended into each other. Not always with just one color, but sometimes 2 or 3 up to 10, depending on how big your space is and how you want it to look. The other big difference is that with thread painting, your stitches are going to go into each other like a split stitch. So normally you'll do kind of all one color. I'll show you on here. So normally you'll kind of do all one color, kind of like to here, but you'll long and short it like that. You'll do long and short, yeah? And then you'll take another color and you'll go into this color and long and short like this. And then you'll take another color and you'll go into this color right here, like that. And then another color and you'll go into it. So you'll use the split stitch to really blend them together. Whereas the long and short stitch, traditionally, and what I've seen, maybe you do it different, that's totally fine. What I've seen is you don't go into each other like a split stitch, okay? You'll just go like this. So you'll go one is long, one is short, one is long, one is short, one is long, almost like a brick stitch. And then the next layer, the same color or even a different color, we're gonna use the same color. You'll do one is short, one is long, one is short, one is long, one is short, one is long, all the way until you get around. Okay? So these ones, you're gonna go in the same hole as where you went down for the next row, in that same hole. So they're connected, but they're not going into the threads. They're just using the same hole. So these ones here will be way more blended. And these ones here, you'll be able to see the separation, almost like a brick stitch. So if you're having trouble, if you watch to the end of the video and you go, I just can't make this work, this is ridiculous, then try a brick stitch, but do it in the middle because they're very similar. So the brick stitch works vertically up like this. So you have all the same size stitches, they're just offset. Yeah, where these ones will be long and short, not necessarily all the same size, as in the short and the long, like they won't always be the same size stitches, but the brick stitch will. So these ones will kind of have like a fan effect where they go out towards the edges like that, and the brick stitch would be literally just straight up and down to fill the whole shape. Is that making sense? So this one would be straight up and down like this, and this one is more of like a fan. I'm gonna get started, and then if you have any questions, you can DM me or ask me afterwards, or as I'm doing it. Yeah? Because I know that for the free stitch along, a lot of people were like, I hate this stitch. I can't get it to go. It's my least favorite stitch. And I think a lot of it is because as you're going out, the middle has less space than the top. So you're going to have to add a couple stitches in. And there's no real like special way to do it. It's just add them in and make it work with the long and short, meaning that you shouldn't have two stitches that stop and start right next to each other in the same place. They should always be kind of like a offset. So if you have to make it up, that's fine too. Definitely you can do that. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and start stitching. I'm sorry. Let me take a drink real quick because I'm getting all fired up. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one right here. There's no real, like, you know, when I do the satin stitch, I always say you can do lines on there if you need to. There's no real lines for this one. You totally could if you wanted to. Hi. So if you really, really, really think that you need it, you could do lines like this. So the short stitch will end here. Hi, George. And the long stitch will end here. You can kind of go like this. It never really like does it for me because normally my stitches are a little bit shorter than that, but let's see if I can adhere to this and then you can see what I mean. So these will be your short stitches and then your long stitches could go even to the middle of this because that's way too long. So we're doing long and short right next to each other. My long ones are going to go into the middle of this one. Which this is like a big reason why I'm like not a fan of the lines because a lot of times you don't know how long your stitches will be until you stitch them. Significant hearing loss. Hear clearly. Okay, so there's one row finished. Man, when that sun comes out, it is so bright. Okay, so the next row, the long stitch would go from here to here. And then the short stitch would go from here to the middle of this row. So let's see if we can make it. I'm going to go back from here to here. So I've gone from left to right first, and now I'm going to go from back right to left. So you're not going into the stitches like this. You're going in the same hole that you came up. And this will make that like separation. Oops. Yeah, okay. I got a twisty one. Yeah, like I almost think that the lines make it a little more confusing than I initially thought. I thought they would like clear up. I think that's just because I like to go a bit rogue. Maybe not. Maybe it's not too bad. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. kind of go halfway. Ooh. Okay, so do you see how there's like a little space there? You might have to make another stitch. And you just want it to be not the same length as any of the ones around it. So you might have to add another one in. So I made a longer one that goes in between this short one and this long one. So kind of just add another stitch in there. This one will not look smooth. So the one that we do either tomorrow or Friday, that one, the long and short stitch, using more colors and less strands, will look really, really smooth, like a painting. But if you want something that's really smooth, I would go with satin stitch, which is this one here, which we did. This one, you'll be able to see all of the little segments, all the stitches. So obviously if you did this with less strands, I'm using 6. If you did it with less strands, then it probably would be more smooth. But then again, you wouldn't have just kind of 7 stitches here. You'd probably have like 25. So you'll see kind of the difference of that as well. See, this right here is where people start to get a bit tricky because there's more space. So if we just keep going the one stitch to one stitch, then you're not going to have it work. So this is where you can kind of add in some other stitches. And that's okay. And I think that's why I never really liked the gridded method, because sometimes you need to just add more, especially with shapes that are not straight, like a square. This would definitely work with a square or rectangle because, it's the same width the whole way. I've clearly abandoned this. Abandoned the squares. I think I'm just more of an intuitive type stitcher. If you need another stitch, then you need another stitch. There's nothing that you can do about it. There's no calculation or way to figure it out that you can think, oh, I can just, do it this way. I will say, pay attention to the outside edge here because you want that to be nice and neat. Here I'm just filling in all of those spots from the outside edge in so that there's no white spot showing. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put one more here and maybe one more at the edge. Notice I'm not splitting any stitches. I'm putting the stitches between other stitches. Okay, so that's a nice, good start for this shape. And then I'm going to do this petal as well. And then I'm going to go make sure I'm ready for the spa. So if you didn't hear in the last video, for my birthday, David got me a voucher from Groupon to go to a spa and get a back and neck and arm and hand and shoulder massage, because sitting and embroidering for long periods of time is really not good for your back and your neck, if you haven't noticed by now. So hopefully that will sort me right out. Okay. Looking at this, I think I need one more stitch right here because I can still see some white just in this little corner. It's hard to work sideways, you know, like I feel like this is working sideways is harder than working like up, because before I had it turned so I was working up, and now I'm working sideways like this. Oh, it's difficult. You can see all the little white spots that are in there that I can go back and fill in with some little extra stitches. Okay. Hello, those of you just joining. So this right here is where I'm going to start putting some extra stitches in. And like before, I'm just going to squeeze them in between. So I'm not going to go into the threads. I'm going to squeeze them between, because you want to keep that varying stitch length. You don't want any stitches to start and end at the same point. So even if you do have to add a couple in, just make them long and short, so that no two stitches start and end at the same point, or even end at the same point. You want them all to look random. Oh my God, so random. This one's gonna need two, isn't it? Because it looks like there's a white spot in here too. These are tricky shapes, so don't get discouraged. Like I said, some people really did not like this stitch, and other people were like, oh, it looks so nice. The texture is so beautiful. So if you're a hater of the stitch, that's fine. This one's gonna be a long one. I'll put a short one there, and that might be it. Okay, and as always, go back and see if you need any stitches anywhere. Because if it bothers you now, it's gonna bother you later. The other thing is that for this one, we're going to do an outline. So if you don't have like a really nice edge here, don't worry about it. We're gonna cover some of it up with an outline. I'm just gonna do one more over here because it's bothering me. Oh, I've got some mail or something. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you to do the other two by yourself. Be sure to tag me with how you get on. And this is what we've got so far. So I haven't decided. I think maybe we'll do long and short stitch with the thread painting tomorrow on this one. And then on Friday, we'll do a chain stitch. And then Saturday, you can catch up with anything that you haven't finished already, because I know that this one will take much longer. So I'm going to give it to you earlier so you can have more time to finish it, if that makes sense. So there you go. So we've got long and short stitch for today. So enjoy your Wednesday. I hope you have a lovely day. And be sure to tag me in your stories or in your grid posts. I'll announce the giveaway winner from Monday later today, so that will be fun. And then, yeah, don't forget to go to the Barmy Fox SAL hashtag and leave some encouragement to other people who are stitching along with you. So, yeah, enjoy your day. Thanks, Meg. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.